What's up, nail geeks, and welcome back to 2024's Breast Cancer Awareness Polish Box. Each year, we have maker Chrissy of Hearts and Promises Polish. She is a amazing badass that is in remission right now. She is a survivor of breast cancer, and so this is her passion project. This is where we have, I think it's over 20 makers get together and they make exclusive polishes for this box. And the whole theme is pink. Pink lovers, we're all in trouble. Portions of the sales, both for non-polished items, polished items, and full sets of boxes go to the Breast Cancer Research Foundation. And I will link that in the description below for you all if you want to see more information on that. That said, this year's box is another stunner for a badass cause. Some of the makers who participated in this month's box do have a cap for their availability for polishes. So I'm going to do it how I normally do on my collab videos. And for each polish, I will list if there is a cap, meaning that is the amount of bottles available. If I don't list it on each of the respective polishes in this video, there is no cap. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Starting off with Alchemy Lacquers. This is Perky in pink, described as a neon bubblegum pink jelly base with blue to purple shifting shimmer. This one is capped at 200 bottles. Perky in pink has a beautiful crelly formula. It applies quite creamy and smooth on the nail, and it is packed full of shimmer. I'm going to caution against overworking this one. Let that paddle brush do the work for you to prevent any type of potential obvious streaking. It does self-level pretty well, but I still figured it was worth it to mention that. This is such a flattering neon pink. I would agree with the official description in case this one gets skewed across monitors. I'm going to suggest 3 light coats and a glossy top coat. This will dry down quite flat, almost matte-like. And next is All Mixed Up Lacquers. This is your Stronger Than This, described as a pink berry base with intense blue to purple shimmer. Another beautiful shimmer bomb. This one has more of a true jelly formula to it. With that said, you can stop at 2 coats if a bit of a peekaboo effect from your smile line doesn't bother you. But true to jelly fashion, if you go up to a 3rd coat, which is what Miss Queen of the 3 Coats would always recommend on shimmer bombs, it's going to give you that more intense, almost raspberry type lean to that base color. So of course, 3 coats and a good glossy top coat is going to flatter this one the best. Regardless, I think you're going to see just the tiniest bit of your visible nail line if you have a prominent free edge. Anchor and Heart Lacquer brings us No Boobie Left Behind. This is a clear based glitter bomb featuring a fun mix of glitter in various finishes and medium to extra small sizes, featuring mostly shades of pink and black. This one, according to our PR information, is intended to be worn either by itself or as a topper. When I first worked on this one, I immediately had that thought. I figured it was going to be pretty dang versatile, and I was not wrong. So for the sake of being super thorough, since we do have the Will It Topper segment at the end, I chose to represent it wearing it by itself. And I think 3 normal coats is perfect. I had no issues with fishing or anything like that. Those glitters are perfectly suspended in the base. So just give your bottle a good shake to get them nice and mixed up in there and you're good to go. You will need a glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat. Beaux Rêves has Resilience. This is described as a raspberry pink base with golden green shimmer and green reflective glitter. So another shimmer bomb. I'm thinking those of us who are in love with shimmers, this box is going to be dangerous. But again, this is for a badass cause, so totally worth it. Now, Resilience is, again, a very true jelly-like formula. I will strongly suggest going up to 3 coats regardless. This one applies more like a jelly, sure, in how it has a light buildup, but when it plumps up on that 3rd coat, it appears to be so much more crelly-like in nature. I'm also going to suggest a thicker glossy top coat to seal this up as it dries on quite flat. Floristic Carol brings us Vida and Rosa, which translates over to Life in Pink. This is described as an ultra hollow purplish pink with shifting micro flakes. This is so pretty and sparkly. If you're like me and you appreciate old school indie type hollow finishes, this one's for you. And I appreciate holographic finishes that have not just that linear finish through it, but we've also got those somewhat larger microflakes. To me, they almost look like little particles. I'm not really seeing more of a shredded look, even if they're on the tinier size, but it gives you this really interesting backdrop of like a stronger twinkle against that hollow, if that makes sense. I'm going to suggest 3 coats to maximize the rainbow goodness and a thicker glossy top coat, as this will also dry down on the flat side. Crystal Knockout has Let the Sun In. This is a neon pink acrylic with matte orange and peach glitters. I know this is going to be so incredibly skewed across monitors, so just in case, please note, I do agree with that official description. The base color is a true neon pink. To me, to my eyes, it has a bit of a peachy, warm type of undertone to it. And the glitters do appear very much as an obvious orange against it in person. At least on my monitor, this is just glowing like a traffic cone. I chose to take it up to 2 coats. I did 1 normal coat, and then I did my icing method on the second coat. I used a glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat to smooth this out because it did have quite a bit of thirstiness and texture. Cupcake Polish brings us Fighter Fuchsia. This is a neon pink base packed with blue shimmer and green and blue flakes. It does state in our PR information that this might stain you slightly. I will note on my falsies, which are typically pretty porous after I've swatched a couple of polishes, they just degrade pretty easily. I did not have any staining. With that said, I would still suggest using a pretty decent, maybe a thicker, almost blurring base coat of some sort. Those typically have more protection value to them. Anyways, Fighter Fuchsia has a true jelly formula to it. I think 3 coats was perfect for buildup, opacity, and plumpness. Some of you rocking nubbins or shorties might be able to get away with 2 coats, but personally, I thought it laid down pretty flat, so I liked that 3rd coat look. Cuticula has Fight Song. This is a peach base with large particle pink to orange shifting shimmer. So another shimmer bomb. I would say that the shimmer going on with this one is on the definite large particle size. So I completely agree with that official description. This is flirting with being a foil and how it builds up. And it is what I would classify as heavily sitting on the fence between a crelly finish and an almost sheer finish. So it builds up on the lighter side. This will dry down quite flat, so use a thicker, plumping, gel-like glossy top coat to really maximize that shift. Overall, this is quite warm. It's definitely got a peach, almost coral orange type vibe to it. Hearts and Promises has Stronger Than the Storm. This is described as a pale neon pink base with orange to gold to red aurora shimmer sprinkled in. This is really pretty, a really flattering, creamy type of look overall. Now, I note that on my monitor here, it is looking so incredibly skewed. So just in case it's looking all weird and traffic coney on your screen, this is a true neon pink of the somewhat bubblegum variety. It's a touch on the pale side, but a true neon pink with a white undertone, if that makes sense. The shimmer is very fine particle. It builds up like a cream, so I chose to take it up to 3 thin coats. Hula Moon brings us The Promise of a New Day. This is described as a shifty, soft pink base with small golden green shifts and bright pink at the most extreme angles. This one's capped at 200 bottles. Now, this one to me applies very similar to a foil finish as well. So it's got that chunkier, large particle type of shimmer to it, very in your face in nature, and it just shifts very well. So indoor lighting, bright lights, you'll see it as this pale pink, and at angles, there's an easy shift over to this nice orangey type of look. So I think my full hand shot's given a decent idea there, but please note this is on the lighter side. So again, I would suggest 3 coats and a glossy top coat. Gin and Berries has Chickity-check Yourself. This is described as a flamingo pink velvet linear hollow base with pink to gold shifty shimmer. This one's capped at 250 bottles. So pretty and just really flattering. Now, I want to note that this one started off on the lighter side too. I almost thought we were going to have another sheer-ish type finish, but not the case when I took it up to 3 coats. It will dry down and apply like a true holographic polish in that it's got that metallic, almost chrome-like dry down and finish overall. So use a thicker glossy top coat to top this one off, and you'll exploit the rainbows, especially in bright lights and sunshine like what you see on my macro shot here. Indoor lights, that shimmer is going to take center stage. Leesha's Lacquer brings us an Momento. This is a clear to pink thermal base with large, hollow flakies. So we have our first of 3 thermals for this box, and Momento has a true jelly formula. It's very soft in how it builds up. It's giving me jelly sandal vibes, very flattering and pretty. I'm going to suggest 3 coats on it. Now, I want to note that the warm state to this is a true clear. I saw really no undertones or any like milky type finish with it. I know my full hand shot here kind of shows that, but I was running pretty warm when I swatched this. The ice water shot gives you a good idea of that clearness I'm talking about. When you use a glossy top coat with it, it's going to give you that, again, jelly sandal look. And I don't know, this one was really pretty. I think there's going to be a lot of versatility with using it as a topper too. Luna Lacquer has pink power. This is described as a fuchsia pink base with gold to orange to green to blue and purple at extreme angles shifting shimmer. Cap is at 250 bottles. Pink power also starts off on the lighter side, but as we're seeing with all of these shimmer bombs, it's going to pack a punch for opacity once you take it up to that 3rd coat. Let the paddle brush do the work for you in this case too, and it's perfect. This is going to have just the tiniest bit of a peekaboo effect with your smile line if you have a free edge of some sort. As you can see on my photos and my full hand shot, you can see through my falsies, so use a blurring base coat if that bugs you. LynBDesigns has nice melons. This is a bright raspberry pink base with green to purple shifting shimmer. This one is a crackle polish. This one's capped at 250 bottles. Fun fact, swatched this one, not knowing it was a crackle. And then when I applied the first coat, I was like, what the hell is happening? But then I realized, yes, it's a crackle polish. So I chose to show it over black because it is so shifty in person. You will need to finish with a glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat because this is going to dry down so flat and matte-like against your undie of some sort. Monarch Lacquer made From Darkness Comes Light for us. This one's described as a thermal polish that's chocolatey mauve when cold, that transitions to a medium pink in warm state, finished with blue to green aurora shimmer. This one's capped at 300 bottles. So we have a jelly formula here, and if you're familiar with Monarch Lacquer, her jelly-like finishes, shimmer bombs, if you will, always have that really super, super smooth, slick feel on application, and that's not a bad thing. Very satisfying with that paddle brush. I'm going to suggest 3 coats and a glossy top coat. Thermal properties were excellent. It was easy to transition and get it to shift between the warm and the cold states. Nailed It's Be the Hope is described as a very light pink tinted base packed with gold to copper crystal flakies and hollow flakies. This one is capped at 200. I will note this is another really versatile one. I very much appreciated the flakes in this one as a person that is incredibly picky on flaky finishes. The flakes almost have that mylar looking effect to them. As you build them up, when you hold your nails at an angle in shaded lighting, it has that super ultra iridescent look to them. And because we have a lighter type of formula here, this is also going to translate very well in the Willet Topper segment. I'm going to suggest 3 coats and a thicker glossy top coat to finish this one off, as it does have a bit of thirstiness to it. Night Owl Lacquer brings us Unbreakable. This is a deep mauve hollow base with copper shimmer and glass flecks. Night Owl does these hollow type finishes so ridiculously well, and this is no exception. It has a strong opacity to it, but I still took it up to 3 coats. It is that metallic type of finish, so you'll need to kind of go in a little ham on it. That way you'll plump it up so it dries down very flat, if that makes sense. I did use my standard glossy top coat to seal this one up, and I noticed no bleeding or anything with it. So those of you who are familiar with, super saturated holographic polishes, I didn't have that issue with this one. So I think any glossy top coat's perfect. Paradox polish has still kicking ass. This is described as a soft brown base with pinky silver magnetic pigment and iridescent flakes. To my knowledge, this one does not have a cap, and that official description is not quite official. That is my official description. So the Paradox has a beautiful, almost rose bronzy chrome type appearance when you go in with it normally and don't magnetize it. I'm going to suggest 3 coats regardless, and it's snapped to a magnet very well. So regardless of if you magnetize individual layers or using the magic magnetic top coat like myself, pops so good. I will suggest a glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat though, as this will dry down flat and very thirsty. Red Eye Lacquer brings us Sweater Puppies. This is a pink to red thermal base with pink to red to gold shifting shimmer and hollow flakes. This one's capped at 200 bottles. So we have the third thermal polish in this box going on here. I have to say Sweater Puppies has a very satisfying creamy formula to it, easy to build up to opacity, and I miss, 3-coat queen stopped at 2 coats with it, and it was just perfect. Self-leveled very well. The thermal properties to this reacted easily with the ice water and my warm fingers, but I would classify the warm and cold states as being in the similar color family, so it's going to be more obvious in person than on the video. And Rogue Lacquer brings us Warrior. This is a soft pink crelly base with copper pink glass flakes and red to copper to green UCC flakes. Another one that I stopped at 2 coats. Overall, I would describe Warrior as having a milky type of finish. It is very soft and satisfying, and for looking like a milky type of finish, I still thought it hit excellent opacity on the second coat here. I did go in just a touch heavier on that second coat because on my other nails, I noticed that, it built up very easily. No issues with the flakes or anything like that, but I did use a glitter smoother here. Sassy Pants Polish has Pink Hope. This is a light pink silver ultra hollow glitter bomb of assorted fuchsia and pink glitters and pink hollow micro shreds. So we have a glitter bomb happening here. This is so sparkly in person. I chose to take it up to 3 light to normal coats to maximize that glitter payoff. No issues with getting those chunkier raspberry pink bigger glitters out of the bottle. So I typically vortex each of my nail polish bottles before I swatch them just to make sure everything is nice and homogeneous, but no issues here with syncing or anything. So pass my glitter check in that regard. I did use a glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat though to smooth this out. Sassy Sauce I Can Survive is a bubblegum pink with a golden red shimmer and hollow micro flakes. This one is capped at 300 bottles. Now, I want to note that this also starts off soft, but it just packed a punch for opacity on that third coat. It applies very creamy and smooth on the nail. And I just, again, blanket statement here, this is coming off just a touch weird warm cast to it on my monitor. So just in case it's skewing across screens, my full hand shot here, at least to what my monitor is showing, is a better representation than, say, the actual swatching portion of the video for color accuracy. This is a flirting with neon pink bubblegum. Sweet and Sour Lacquer Unstoppable is a hot pink jelly base with pink to orange to gold shimmer. So we have a jelly-like formula here. This one starts off pretty light, and as we're seeing across the board, I think 3 coats popped very, very well. In indoor light and somewhat brighter lighting, like what you're seeing on the video here, it's going to take on this almost fuchsia-ish magenta looking pink tone. Very, very nice. At angles, I saw an easy shift over to that orange and gold, as you see on my macro shot here in just a moment. I'm going to strongly suggest 3 coats and a glossy top coat. Victorian Varnish, Save the Pumpkins, Check for Lumpkins, is a bright pink leaning fuchsia base with scattered hollow and intense pink peach gold aurora shimmer. This one's capped at 200 bottles. So this is my first time swatching, playing, whatever you want to call it, with Victorian Varnish. And I have to say I was very impressed. This has a fantastic paddle brush and it spread across the nail very well. The polish itself was a really smooth jelly-like finish and it built up very well for me at 3 coats. If you tend to polish on the lighter side and you have a prominent free edge, you might see a peekaboo from your smile line. So again, if that bothers you, my disclaimer of using a blurring base applies here too. Zombie Claw Polish in October We Wear Pink is a bubblegum pink base loaded with electric blue shimmer and hollow flakies that glow in the dark white. This one is capped at 100 bottles. Another interesting one that built up very well between 2 and 3 coats. So depending on where you stop with this, I think some of you rocking nubbins or shorties could probably stop at 2 coats. If you have any type of free edge of some sort and or wide load nail problem like myself, I think 3 coats is going to do you the best. This will dry down incredibly matte, which is indicative to glow in the dark pigments. So I did use a glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat. This glowed in the dark so freaking bright, so you will 10 out of 10 scare the hell out of yourself in the middle of the night when you get up to go pee. We're going to wrap this up with the Will It Topper segment. This is where I use a black swatch stick to demonstrate if polishes have layering capabilities. So lots of light finishes across the board. Spoiler alert, most of these are going to work very well. The Alchemy lacquers look stunning over black. I think you can do quite a bit with it. All mixed up, same thing. It vamps it out and it's got that lighter formula, but it's very tinted. So keep that in mind. Anchor and Heart, you don't have to go in ham or icing method or anything like that. Just apply it as normal over any undie and it works great. Beaux Rêves, same thing, but very much like the all mixed up lacquers, it's going to have a strong tint to the respective base. Coloristic Carol, I was pleasantly surprised. I typically don't like to see rainbows over an undie, but this works. Crystal Knockout, I chose to show it over white as some neon crellies look very cool over a white base, but I don't think there's a need for it in here. Cupcake polish goes along with the other jellies we've seen thus far, and it toppered well. Cuticula, same thing, but again, just know a lot of these have quite tinted bases, so you might want to stick with matchy match undies if so. Hearts and Promises is too cream crelly-like in my opinion. I would not topper it. Hula Moon also works. It's a foil type finish. I'm just going to classify it as a foil, so of course it works and it's very obvious. Gin and Berries. This is another one very much like the Coloris that I was pleasantly surprised it works. Leesha's Lacquer. Now this, I want to note, is very versatile. Because we have a true clear base, you can put this over pretty much any medium to lighter color. You don't want to drown out that cold state and you'll get a really interesting look. I really liked it over white here. It's very Barbie-like. Luna Lacquer looks like a true foil, very much like the Hula Moon. So yes, it works over dark colors. Monarch, because we have a thermal and I wanted to see what it would look like with the warm and the cold state, I chose to show it over white. Personally, I would not topper this one. I don't think you're doing it justice. And yes, you exploit the shimmer, but I don't know. I liked it by itself. Nailed it. You can put this over pretty much anything and it's going to look really cool. Night Owl. Yes, it works. I know it works on the video, but personally, I would not topper this. You are not doing this justice. Red Eye Lacquer. Now, this is the other thermal. I am also showing this one over white to show the warm and cold states. Very much like the Monarch, I would not topper this one. Yeah, you can kind of see the warm and cold state a little bit better than, say, my swatch portion, but I just wouldn't. My preference. Rogue Lacquer, milky finish. 10 out of 10, I would not do this. I think you're not doing it justice. Sassy Pants is a glitter bomb. Of course it works. You'll still need to use a glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat though. And then Sassy Sauce. Yes, this is very pretty over black, but another one that I would not topper as it looks perfect alone. Sweet and Sour. I think you can get a little creative with this one. This would look really cool over mauves, reds, burgundies, and such. Victorian Varnish. I'm on the fence with this one because it is also a hollow polish, so up to you. And Zombie Claw works ridiculously well. I was pleasantly surprised with this one, but again, just remember you'll need a glitter smoothing top coat, whether you choose to get creative as a topper or wear it alone. At the time I am recording this for my face, I am ahead of the game, and as I try to do to make sure that my scheduling and whatnot is good. Once I get the official breakdown of availability for boxes, normally there's roughly 20 to 30 full size boxes if you wanted to purchase that. And then there's, of course, the polishes you can get a la carte, whatever. I will have that all around my head here, and then I can get this video out so everyone can see and hopefully participate. Each year, I believe we have been breaking records for the previous years for the donation. So let's do it again. And again, pink polish, pretty polish for a good cause. I will link you all below to the Breast Cancer Awareness Box Facebook group if you would like more information on this specific collab, see additional swatches, things like that. I will link that in the description box below. I will also link you to Hearts and Promises, which is where you will be able to purchase either the full-size box or just the polish box or the polish box with goodies, what have you. That's where the sale is going to happen. And the sale is starting September 1st. I will have all the information around my head here officially once I have it. And I'll also have it in the description box below, including timestamps if you need to go back for anything. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.